Here are my full spoilery thoughts about the first episode of Doctor Who's latest season, The Robot Revolution. If you haven't seen the episode yet and don't want to be spoiled, save this video for later and check out my previous video for my spoiler-free thoughts. The timeline for this episode was a little hard for me to keep track of because of the time fracture, but basically a nurse named Belinda Chandra gets kidnapped by robots and taken to an alien planet. The planet orbits the star that her horrible ex-boyfriend Alan gave her a certificate for many years ago, so that nominally makes her their queen. As someone with an astronomy background, if the star is called Miss Belinda Chandra, the first planet around that star should be called Miss Belinda Chandra A, not Miss Belinda Chandra 1. She doesn't have any real political power, instead being forced to marry the planet's true overlord, Alan himself, who was taken by the robots 10 years ago and managed to install himself as the planet's tyrannical cyborg ruler. But the Doctor and Belinda managed to save the day by taking Belinda's star certificate and touching it to another version of the same star certificate that Alan has from the future, causing a paradox that leads to a giant explosion. The star certificate paradox probably was the cause of the time fracture in the first place. We still don't know how the robots got the star certificate from the future, and the Doctor indicates that he's interested in solving that mystery. We see the certificate floating in the wreckage in space at the end of the episode, which means it probably has something to do with why the TARDIS doesn't want to take Belinda back home. While I love the twist where Alan turned out to be the evil AI overlord, I wasn't a huge fan of the fact that the time paradox caused him to turn into a sperm and an egg for the polishing robot to hoover up. Yes, he was a bad person who deserved to suffer the consequences of his actions, but to me it was jarring to see the Doctor and Belinda basically kill a villain even if they didn't mean to. I was expecting Alan to get regressed into a baby, similar to how Margaret Slitheen got regressed into an egg in the series 1 episode Boomtown. He would have been prevented from hurting anyone else, and the Doctor and Belinda could put him back with his family to raise him again and make better choices. Alan was deeply hurting inside, so maybe he had the capacity to be good somewhere in there. Doctor Who has often had a message of redemption, and I think such a storyline would fit well here. Early in the episode, we get an appearance from Mrs. Flood, who was Ruby's mysterious fourth-wall-breaking neighbor in the previous season and is now apparently Belinda's mysterious fourth-wall-breaking neighbor in this season. The show is not letting us forget how sketchy she is, and she's definitely a god or a Time Lord or something. I thought it was interesting that the Doctor indicated someone told him to go looking for Belinda. Because the episode was mostly from Belinda's perspective, we only get a glimpse at what the Doctor is really up to. Belinda looks exactly like Mundy Flynn, a character from an episode in the previous season who was also played by Varda Sethu. He assumes Mundy is Belinda's descendant, but he also seems to wonder whether the link between Belinda and Mundy and the coincidence by which he met both of them has something more to it. I'm not sure at this point whether Belinda will turn into a full-blown mystery box companion, but I think she would probably bristle at that characterization. I'm loving that she's uninterested in being the Doctor's next adventure and that she calls him out for being dangerous. Despite its flaws, I really enjoyed this season opener, and I'm excited to see what the season ahead holds. Be sure to leave your thoughts and theories in the comments.